We're hurtling towards the end of Springwatch 2009. We had two new boys at the start. They're not quite so new anymore, so come on. How's it been? 3 weeks on Springwatch?
Well, a lot jaded already. still novel, if not new. It's been really good fun, actually. Not what I expected in many ways, to be honest with you. I didn't think it would be as busy, as it were, throughout the course of recording. I didn't think there'd be quite so much going on with all of the birds, but it has been. It's whizzed past the time. I wish it would go on for another couple of weeks, really. I'd like to see what would happen to the kestrels in the end, for one.
When we started, the spotlight was firmly focused on the programme. You know, viewers going, what's this new presenter going to be like? The press were looking, thinking what you're going to be like. How did you cope with that pressure?
Frankly, I just ignored it. I can only do what I can do, and I came to do it as to the best I possibly could. I wanted to satisfy everyone here. Everyone else is working really hard to produce a top quality product, so I wanted to make sure I did my best for them. And then obviously I wanted to try and appeal to the audience. Top piece of advice I was given when I started work was never accept a job that you can't do. You'll be found out, and that will be the end of it. So anyway, maybe I've been found out. I don't know. I don't know.
I think you're getting away with it.
Yeah, I'm getting away with it. Oh, that's right then. Yeah.
I mean, you are hugely passionate about wildlife, and through you and Bill and programmes like this, the nation is being inspired to be passionate about wildlife. But what is it about Mother Nature, about wildlife, about conservation that fires you up so much, and why?
Really simple answer, which will sound superficial. It's perfect. Nature is perfect, and through its being perfect, through that perfection, it's beautiful too. And I think I recognised that when I was very, very young, and I watched a ladybird climb up my finger, and I looked at its symmetry and its bright colours and the fact that everything was in place. And I saw perfection in that and all of the other creatures that I saw, with the exception of humans. And so, yeah, there's always more to learn, so you can never give up. And so many things, you look around and you just see it. It's functional, it's harmonious, it's intrinsically beautiful.
One of the things that you've brought to Springwatch this year is just a little nugget of science. Now, you confess yourself you're a bit of a geek when it comes to nature science, and you sort of distilled that down a little bit for the programme. Was it important to you to sort of bring that element to the programme this year?
I loathe the idea of dumbing down. The great British public, there's nothing dumb about them, and many of the Springwatch viewers are very passionate about the subject as well, and they have a broad knowledge of it. Many of them, I'm sure, in specialist field, a knowledge which would outstrip mine, you know. So the idea of dumbing down is an anathema to me. My vocation, if you like, is to entertain people, but inform them. So yeah, no, I'm very, very passionate about that.
Kate, she's a wonderful woman. She's been having good chats about what you've been like to work with. It's your turn to flip the other side of the coin. So come on, Kate, you've moved into her caravan because there's no room in yours due to your collection and your T-shirts and your cameras and all that kind of stuff. So what's it like?
There's a boys' and there's a girls' caravan. Mine's full of, you know, bits of animal skull.
Boys' stuff.
Yeah, loads of books and shabby old punk T-shirts. And hers is, well, it had flowers in to start with. I have to say they've wilted slightly, which disappoints me. But no, so
you were supposed to replace them.
Oh God, blimey, see, I lost cred for that. Kate, I mean, firstly, everyone else has been incredibly welcoming, which has been a real pleasure. I mean, coming into an established programme where there are ways and means of doing things could have been quite intimidating. You know, I don't want to tread on people's toes, but then I don't want to do things which are plainly not me either. But everyone's been really, really welcoming. Having to work with Kate was something I was looking forward to. I'd already heard that she was sort of, you know, consummately professional, always on the ball, very keen, not lazy and all that sort of stuff. So that was kind of covering my backside, really, because I can be quite cavalier at times. Yeah, I think there has been a chemistry there. I haven't ribbed her as much as I was going to, but maybe there's 2 programmes left, so I can still start.
There is yet time. And of course, Martin Hughes Games, who's the other new boy on the sofa. Were you a bit jealous not to get the sofa and Kate all to yourself?
No, not at all. Martin is a really, really nice bloke, and you know, and again, I think he's found his role, and particularly I think for the red button, it's been a real asset to have Martin there. And a couple of times when he's come in and he's been doing his bit in the programme, it's gone red buttony, and I quite like that because it becomes wholly informal and it's much more of a less structured item and a far more of a conversation. So that's good. He's got a good sense of humour as well, which I think is really important. I mean, this is a show and not a programme. It's something I have to keep banging myself on the head to remember, because otherwise I could drift too far into the fact-filled science, you know. But people are here to enjoy the emotional response that they, you know, engage with our creatures, and also to enjoy the dramas that unfold. They don't need to know every single intricacy of the cell structure of a plover's gut to enjoy Springwatch. And to be honest with you, nor do I.
one of your other great passions is, of course, photography on the Springwatch message boards. People have been asking about your photography and your love and your joy of it. For you, is that just another way of embracing Mother Nature?
It is. I don't love it. I find it intensely and desperately frustrating, photography, because, again, what I'm trying to do there is capture a perfective image of something that I see as, beyond reproach in terms of its beauty, and I continually and have always and will always fail to do that. One day, you never know, I might take a photo that's just close to being as good as the creature that I'm trying to re-represent.
And there are some tips from Chris on the BBC's local websites across the country about nature photography. Finally, we need to talk about the poodles. They've been a kind of running joke through the show.
Joke?
As much as Kate has referred to your old-style hairdo, why do you like the poodle?
I think we get quite sort of psychological and philosophical. I don't like complacency and I don't like contentment in my life. I think that they're possibly, they would make me get old and lazy and set in my ways. And poodles are complete anarchists. I mean, they dominate your life. They're a dog with such a strong character that you can't ignore them. You don't go in and they lay by the fire and pass out and then get up the next time they want to walk. They're in every aspect of your life. They don't molt. And as much as I love hoovering, I wouldn't love hoovering every day, dog hair. So therefore they don't smell. They're just the right size to fit in the car. They learn things incredibly quickly. I can teach them something in a couple of hours. They're really smart dogs. And once they've, they get trimmed and they have pom-pom tails and all sorts of dreadful things. But once they go a bit Bob Marley's head on the end of a stick sort of thing, they look fairly respectable.
What will be your sort of lasting memory of your first year on Springwatch?
I think being made to feel so welcome, everyone, genuinely giving me a chance, which was really nice. And also, of course, the opportunity to look at all the birds in detail. It's not often that, racing around doing this, that and the other, you get a chance to sit down and actually just watch very intimate moments in common birds' lives. That unfortunately was left long behind me when I was a teenager, and so to be able to sit down and just watch robins and blackbirds and greenfinches doing their stuff has been a real pleasure. That's been the relaxing angle behind it, undoubtedly. And of course working with Kate. Sorry, you got the point. Yeah.
Brilliant, Chris, thank you for your time.
Thank you.